Hi, it's Jen from Shabby Fabrics, back with the Log Cabin Trim Tool series. This is the third and final video in this series where we show you the power of what these tools can do. They seem benign, but once you start unpacking what they can do, the convenience, the precision, they're just incredible tools available in the 4-inch, the 6-inch, and the 8-inch log cabin trim tools. In the first video, we went over that traditional log cabin block. We all know what that looks like, very foundational to quilting. And I've definitely made the log cabin blocks before without the trim tool because it hadn't even been invented yet. And sometimes my blocks came out well and some were not my favorite. But with the log cabin trim tool, which is basically starting with the center, adding rounds and trimming up, even a beginner can look like a professionally made quilt block. It's incredible. So if you have not seen those videos, we've done the log cabin one as well as courthouse steps. You're going to want to check those out and see just how easy and fun it is to use these tools. So this is the 8-inch, 6-inch, and 4-inch of the traditional log cabin block. It's always fun to see them. From the same tool, we could perhaps orient our fabric a little bit differently to make courthouse steps. How now the whites are always on the same side, opposite sides actually, and the colors are always on the opposite side, so kind of that courthouse step. I love how that is similar, but of course different, using again the log cabin trim tool. And then there's a third block that is very unique. I don't think I would attempt this without this tool, and this is called a half log cabin. Look how instead of the concept of a center, and we're kind of building around it, our kind of center is up in the corner and we kind of build down here. Very unique. And as I think about these blocks kind of articulating, it could have a very interesting kind of waving effect. So that's what today's video will be about, is the half log cabin block. Now, unlike the log cabin and the courthouse, where using the tool was actually pretty obvious almost, this one is different and unexpected. So stay with me on this one. Just like the others, this is a great stash buster. Maybe you've got scraps left over from quilts like we all do, where you want to be able to repurpose them because it doesn't feel right to throw fabric away. None of that's right. But maybe it's very special fabric. You just don't know what to do with it. This is a great use of that. You'll use up your scraps. You're going to have something really, really cool to show people of really how unique this particular block is. We'll be working on the 8-inch block. We've been doing that all along, from the log cabin to the courthouse to now. It's just easier for you to see that with my hands from the overhead. But it's always fun to see how cute the smaller blocks are. So just like we've done before, you can go to the Creative Grid USA website if you happen to lose those instructions. You can always re-download them. Just type in the name of the tool, log cabin trim tool, and you will be able to get that set of instructions for whatever tool that might be by Creative Grid. You will also see a sewing and trimming sequence, and that's going to be for the various blocks and the various sizes. So go ahead and just print that and keep that handy. We have been making log cabin blocks in courthouse for a long time, and we have found that using the sewing and trimming sequence is the way to go. There are instructions inside each of these tools that says, make sure your strip is this wide and at least this long. Quilters like precision, not at least this long. What is that, right? At least 5 inches, so if I sew 7, now the block is kind of all over the place. And yes, the trimming function will clean that off, but it's uncomfortable. Do whatever you are most comfortable with. And for us here, it's trimming the blocks to the size as noted on the sewing and trimming sequence. And we're grateful to Creative Grid for producing something like that. So people who want to really dial that in and not waste any extra fabric. We don't want a longer strip that we just cut and fold and throw away. So looking at the half log cabin, this happens to be the trimming sequence for the 8-inch. If you're going to be picking up the 6-inch tool, This does not apply to you. Make sure that you're getting the half log cabin for the size of finished block you're going for. So it is very easy to, with all the different sewing and trimming sequences, get the wrong thing. So just make sure you're confirming, yep, I'm going to do the half log cabin. That's what it looks like, and I'm doing the 8-inch finished block. So that's us today. Our first instruction is to cut our center square to 2 3/4, and they give us a note here. By increasing the size of the square for the half log cabin, 2 sides of the piece block will not be trimmed until the final round. That's key. Remember when we did the log cabin and the courthouse steps, in every round we trimmed up on all 4 sides. It's different with this one, and that's why this video is very important. So this one will be behaving just a little bit different, and we'll go ahead and go through each round. Very important here that we go through each round together. Some are obvious and some are not obvious. Okay, so as we move on here, this is letting us know with our round 1, we have a strip that's 1 3/4 by 2 3/4 is the light colored fabric, and the dark will be 1 3/4 by 4. So that's what we've cut our fabric to. And just like we've been doing, right side together, pressing, always pressing away from the center, right? We can simulate that. We now start off with this unit. So this is already right away our first trimming function. Even though this says the half log cabin, I was sure when I was getting ready to do this video, thinking, of course that's where I'm going to go. It's not that yet. That's actually used in the very end, and I found that confusing. So I wanted to make sure that you don't follow that same train of thought that I thought, oh, I got this. No, you're going to go back to, and our instruction will guide us here. It says place the top and right side of the black round 1 square on the 2 seam lines. So number 1, make sure your fabric is oriented this way with that corner square here. Remember, this is a square right now. You could put this tool down and trim it, but it will be wrong. It's very important that you orient this so that that corner square is down here. We will put our frame right there so that it's up in this corner. One thing I want to point out to you, and it's a little bit of a discrepancy in the diagramming, and at first it gave me pause, and so I want to address this. The instructions say place the top and right side of the black round 1 square on the 2 seam lines. So we've got this here and this here. Trim the right side and the top. We know we're in the right place, but what gave me pause was the sight picture of what I'm seeing is different than this paper. Notice how my frame is here, but I have this other fabric down below the frame. I don't see that other fabric to the left and below that frame, but it's there. So I just want to address that you are in the right position, even though they're not showing that corner square extending beyond the black line, both to the left and the bottom. Okay, so I just want to address that. Every now and again, we see a little bit of inconsistencies, and I like to point that out because if it gave me pause, it might give you pause of doubting if you're in the right place. You're definitely in the right place, and we're going to trim here, and for the next round, I'll be sure to grab my spinning mat because, yes, I don't mind cutting that way now and again, but why do that if you have a spinning mat, right? So that is our very first round. Now, the next thing that we'll be doing, and we can see that here, is now that we're back to this, I want to always orient this because I could be adding my next fabric to any side. Have I sewn a log cabin block with the log on the wrong side? At least 3 or 4 times because I didn't reorient my block before I added the next side. So we're going to orient our block so it looks like this, just like our site picture here. For our next pieces, We're once again going to be right side together, pressing to the outside, and then we have our stripe down below, pressing to the outside, just like this. So let's just look back here, and I'm going to turn this actually so that that's in that corner. That might be a little easier for us to just stay, because we know we're always going to trim with that corner square down in the corner. So let's just keep our block oriented that way. It helps us wrap our mind around syncing up with our diagram. Once again, it is saying, and we'll grab our spinning mat for this one, that we're going to line up with round 2, once again, framing that seam line and this seam line. And as we've addressed, we're not seeing in our diagramming the red extending left and below, but we now understand it's just a diagramming issue, and you're going to see that. So we'll give a cut, rotate our mat, and give a cut. So far, things are pretty straightforward. No shenanigans happening. And we're reorienting our block so that, again, it's down here in that corner. For our next pieces, right side together, there we are, and always pressing away until we're here. For this next one, round 3, just as we would expect. Once again, along our seam here and seam here, trim and trim. So far, I would say pretty obvious. This is for the next round, this is where things are not at all what I would have expected. And this is where you're going to want to give me a little bit more of your attention so that when you get ready to use this tool and you make this block, you know exactly what to do. For this next one, we once again add the fabrics. Nothing new with this. You're attaching the strips just as normal. It's the trimming part that's different. 1/4 inch, press the outside, same here. We get that part. Now, there's a note here. And if you are printing this, I would recommend that you highlight round 4 and 5 and 6, because that's when things begin to change. Because let's look at our tool. Round 1, let me turn it over. Round 1, 2, 3, uh-oh, wait a minute. Let's look at this block. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we have 6 rounds, but wait, my tool doesn't say round 4, 5, and 6. What are we doing? How do we do this? That's why you watch our videos at Shabby Fabrics, right? We unpack this for you. This says rotate the tool 180 degrees. So we're used to looking at the tool with the writing straight up. All right, rotate the tool 180 degrees. So now the writing is upside down to me. Place the top and right side of the black round 2 square on the 2 seam lines. Okay, let me move my little note here. That's round 2. All right, let's put that right where they say, and look at that. They weren't kidding. This is the sight picture you should see every time. If you see that, you did it right. If you see something wildly different than that, maybe you're seeing something over here, stop. It is definitely wrong. Reread those instructions, because if that was like here and you did round 3, that can't be right, right? And round 1, you have nothing to trim. So you see how it almost is a little bit, you almost can't be somewhere else. So here we are lining up again in this corner, trying to kind of average, you know, not everything is always going to line up. That's just sewing. So I kind of try to average that, and I'm like, yep, that's pretty darn good right there. And I'm going to cut, and I'm going to cut. And I should have spun my mat. Okay, now we're at this place, and now we are going to add fabrics just like we've been doing. There's that round, this round, until we have this. Our instruction is telling us keeping the tool rotated. So basically our writing is still upside down. Place the top and right side of the black round 1 square on the 2 seam lines. So okay, that's round 1. And doing that reasonableness check, this is about what we've been seeing. That's about the amount we've been trimming every time. We can see that is definitely the right location. So we're trying to just average our lines, make sure we're in a good spot, trim, and trim. Okay, for that final round, now we're just adding that final strip, both on the top and the side, pressing to the outside. So let's see what these instructions have to say now about this. Place the corner square marked half log cabin on the 2 seam lines. So let's look at that and notice the orientation of the tool. Notice there's the Creative Grid logo, right? There's the wording. So I'm going to place this right here. So now look what we get to do. For the first time, we get to cut all the way around this. So just like we've been doing, we're going to give a good press, and this is where the spinning mat will shine, because I do not have to and do not want to pick up this block. We found our sweet spot, and now we simply trim all the way around it. And you can see the thought that goes into these tools. I can only imagine the developing these Creative Grid tools and thinking of all of these things is actually quite extraordinary to me. And now we have an amazing half log cabin block using the tool in a way that I would have never thought of doing. And isn't that absolutely brilliant? So that concludes the 3rd block. We kind of saved that more complex one till the end. You had a chance to use the tool for the log cabin and the courthouse steps, a little bit simpler. But now that you're getting very familiar with kind of the methodology of this tool, you can see this is absolutely doable. And I think they did a great job on writing very clearly, rotate it 180 degrees. So I hope you have enjoyed learning the powerhouse incredible capability of the log cabin trim tools. And of course, whether you're using one of our kits or your own stash, we would love to see what you're working on. Post that on our social media. Send that into our customer service. We love to see that at Shabby and celebrate everything you're working on. So thank you for giving me a part of your day to show you how to make the half log cabin block using the log cabin trim tool. I look forward to seeing you soon on another video.